You're caring for a sick or aging loved one, and you're wondering if your emotions are normal or if you're the problem. In this video, I'm going to go over 6 emotional states that I went through myself, but I also saw them in some friends and some clients. That way you'll know you're not alone. I lost both of my parents after 20 months of an insane sequence of events. I felt a lot of emotions during that. I've also seen clients and friends go through the same experience, and these emotions are quite universal for caretakers, so let's go through them. There are 6 of them. The first emotion I experienced was shock. When my dad had the first of what would be many surgeries and my mom couldn't stay alone, I went to be with her. I was so sure that I would be a comforting presence for her, but quite the contrary. She clearly thought in her early stage of dementia that I was responsible for my dad's absence, and she wanted me to go home. I was shocked that my presence was actually an irritant for her. One of my clients described feeling shock mixed with horror as he witnessed how the long illness had transformed and diminished his brother. What about you? Have you experienced shock when caring for a loved one? The second emotion I experienced was fear. My dad had some pretty serious surgeries, and I found myself really afraid sometimes that he would not come out alive. A friend of mine, whose dad also had many health issues during his final years, well, she also had a lot of fear, moments of fear with him and for him. Is fear something you feel? An emotion I felt really often was sadness. My parents lived about 250 miles or 400 kilometers from me, and in 2018 I did 13 round trips between my house and theirs. During each of those trips, I sobbed and sobbed for at least half an hour and sometimes much more. One of my clients would sob during most of her waking hours while her parents were declining. So if you feel sadness, please be kind to yourself. If you're new to my channel, hi, I'm Sonia Weyers, your happiness guide and Gestalt therapist for adults and couples. If you're a woman in midlife who cares deeply about their relationships, but there's conflict, tension, or stress, then this channel is for you to help you to find more moments of true connection. The fourth emotion you might feel is anger. I certainly felt some. When my dad had another blood clot and I realized he had not taken his anticoagulant medicine, I almost choked on anger. How is that possible? A client of mine was quite angry with his dad when his dad couldn't do some of the things that he used to do. Now that anger had more to do with denial, and denial isn't a proper emotion, but there's a fair amount of that too. Another client of mine felt anger, even revolt, when the medical care for his mother was really not adequate. So anger is quite common as a caregiver. So if you feel some, you're okay. The fifth emotion you might feel is joy. Yes, even in these dire situations. A client of mine described the joy that he felt just holding his mom's hand for hours. I had many moments of joy with my parents. For example, when my mom and I did a simple embroidery together, she did the lines and I did the turns. I'd love to know if you too have experienced some moments of joy as a caregiver. Please put them in the comments. That'll give courage to other people. The sixth emotion I'd like to mention is guilt. As much as we may have done for our loved ones, we still might feel some guilt. I found a retirement home for my parents near me with a really great setting. I arranged everything for them. I emptied their house. I really took care of everything. But for my mom, who was suffering serious mental decline, it was a real tragedy. And I had driven the car from her home that she loved to the retirement home that she did not want to be in. I dragged a guilty feeling for that for a long, long time. One of my clients refused a really big gift that his dying dad wanted to give him, a new car. His dad had been poor all his life, and this gift represented a lifetime of savings. My client just couldn't accept it. But he finally understood how important that would have been for his dad and that he really should have accepted. And he felt quite guilty about that after it was too late. So please don't feel guilty if you feel guilty. So a lot of emotions are quite normal for caregivers. It's a big and complex job. And they really are part of the true connection that we feel with ourselves and with those we care for. If I've left out some emotions that you are feeling, please let me know in the comments. I'd love to support you, but also I'd like to know for my clients. And for more videos on how to have more moments of true connection, just hit the subscribe button.